Benjamin Austin Page, also known as Slimy, as far back as 2016, he had charges and warrants against him. Warrants such as firearms, ammunition, loitering, theft, burglary, and drugs. Slimy would be arrested and jailed for almost 4 years. Slimy was now ready to be released and become a free man, but he would not be free for long. He would actually become known as a, quote, violent thug, end quote, who was well known in his area. There was another person who was trying to be known for other reasons. Terrence Lamar Brown, who went by the name Tavion. I'm not sure if Terrence was trans or just a gay man. He used his government name, which is Terrence, on his social media, and there are photos of him clearly looking like a male, and then some obviously dressed up like a woman. In my day, we call that drag, and the males use these names, they call themselves drag queens. That's when a biological male would dress in women's attire, but again, it was clearly known that these were men. Yes, we are in a new day, and I have no idea what is going on anymore, and I intend to keep it that way. But what I do know is that Terrence died to keep a secret.
Motives, thank you for tuning into Tavion Lamar Beauty. Today's video is going to be pretty simple. I'm going to be getting ready. I got to do some grocery shopping later on, and we're going to be doing a first impressions. I have a bunch of new products that I haven't used. I'm sure you've heard of them, so I just want to test them out as we go. I don't really have a look planned, but that's when I'm the most creative, when I just kind of freehand things. I'm not really going to be going into detail about where I'm putting it, why I'm putting it there, because I have several other videos explaining that. This video is going to be more of a talk through as I'm doing my makeup.
Terrence was set to launch his cosmetic line, Tavion Lamar Cosmetics. As he did tutorials on makeup on YouTube, Terrence was aspiring to become somebody. It seems over social media, Slimy would meet Terrence, who may have given him the name Tavion. During Slimy's interrogation, he said that he referred to Terrence as T or TT. All in all, it doesn't matter once again because Terrence was secure in his sexuality. And there were pictures of him again as a male and female, so he wasn't hiding anything. He wasn't hiding who he was. It was Slimy who didn't want anyone to know how grimy he really was. Terrence, who could have done way better, he would meet Slimy and they would be involved in a sexual relationship. I don't know how many times that the two were intimate, but during these times, pictures and videos were taken of the two males, probably in various stages of undress and sexual situations. Whatever was going on with these pictures and videos, it was enough for Terrence to be lured outside under false pretenses and shot multiple times and left dead. Deputies responded to a call in Lehigh Acres. There was a person who had been gunned down in the front yard. The victim, named by family members, was later Terrence Lamar Brown. Later, all evidence would link back to, wouldn't you know it,
Benjamin Page is facing a second-degree murder charge. As 4 in Your Corner's Leslie Delaspore explains, investigators suspect the victim and the suspect had been sexually involved.
Benjamin Austin Page was taken into custody earlier today after fatally shooting the victim Sunday outside a home. Deputies found the victim with multiple gunshot wounds on 25th Street Southwest in Lehigh Acres.
Witnesses confirmed the victim exited the residence with the intention of meeting an acquaintance. While outside, that victim was fatally shot.
Lee County Sheriff's Office says the suspect has a long criminal history, and this was not a random act due to a sexual history between Page and his victim.
After our investigation revealed Page was sexually involved with the victim in this case, and recently became angry over the victim's refusal to delete sexually explicit images between the two.
According to Oxford Language, an informal definition of slimy is disgusting, immoral, dishonest, obsequious. During his interrogation, which is right here on YouTube, you can see in full, Slimy would speak about everything but the fact that he was in a gay relationship with the now deceased. He said Terrence had pictures in his phone and he was supposed to delete them, but he didn't. He also said that Terrence was making him do things for these pictures, but it was very unclear exactly what he was made to do. But he would also tell the detective that it wasn't blackmail, that Terrence was not asking for money. He believed that Terrence liked him. He said that the two had an OnlyFans together. So obviously, it was more than a one-time deal. Sometimes females want to watch two guys play with each other, and then he corrects himself. Sometimes females want to watch two men lay next to each other and play with themselves. Now, Terrence was interested in having a threesome with Slimy and another woman. Now, he says he was down for that. And Terrence also promised that after this threesome, they could delete these pictures, that Terrence would give Slimy his phone and he could delete these pictures himself. And Slimy also says that he didn't know that Terrence was gay. I mean, he claims he really didn't know that. Slimy says over and over again that he isn't gay. Over and over. Slimy also claims that Terrence was going to, quote, going to go out, end quote. That's what he says. Going to go out and post these videos and pictures all over social media for everyone to see. And apparently, Slimy didn't want his, quote, dogs, end quote, to see any of these pictures or videos because I guess they thought that their dog was straight. Even though Slimy agreed at an earlier date that Terrence could post these pictures on his Instagram, but he would crop out his head, which still doesn't make sense because Slimy is tatted all over. Now, Slimy claims he arrived for this threesome, but Terrence never came. He said this was the second time that he had stood him up, so he simply blocked Terrence. Slimy would plead no contest to the murder charge and was adjudicated guilty by Lee County Judge Margaret Steinbeck. Benjamin Page had credit for 705 days in jail. He was sentenced to 35 years in prison with a mandatory of 25 years to be served before he's even considered getting out. So he'll be in his 50s when he's released. I went on Terrence's Facebook page, and on May 14, 2020, just 6 days before his murder, he said, quote, "Go out there and get it. We got the same 24 hours in a day. How you using yours?" End quote. Someone used their 24 hours to plot and kill you. Rest in peace, Terrence Lamar.